I'm Saul Mtakula. I work for Canfor Pulp, and I'm a process control engineer at the company. At the end of the day, the pulp and paper making process involves a bunch of reactors and production of steam and, mixing a whole bunch of chemicals and things like that, right? But you got to do it the right way. So basically, mixing those things in the right way, making sure you have the right flow rates and the right temperatures and the right levels in vessels and stuff like that. You need the logic and then algorithms to, take care of it all, right? And that's what process control is all about. So my job on a day-to-day basis is to either configure new controls for stuff that's new, or to maintain existing controls, or maybe to just change the algorithms so that we optimize and we run better. Pulp and paper making is actually high tech. You have a whole bunch of new stuff coming up all the time, and we get to get hands-on with that kind of stuff, right? I mean, we get consultants sometimes coming over from the States and from Vancouver, from back east, and just in that way, you're always sort of in touch with new ideas all the time. You gotta talk with the operators who actually run the equipment, and you gotta take their ideas on board, because it's no good saying, this is how I want this to work, right? When it doesn't work for those guys, you gotta satisfy them. And some of those guys are different. They might prefer one thing and the other one might prefer. So you gotta sort of come halfway sometimes and satisfy a whole bunch of different people, right? Each area I go to, there's a team that actually lives in that area, and their job is dedicated to running that area effectively, right? So we have team meetings in the mornings, and you get to know the guys and you get to be their friends, really, or almost part of a family, right? Because you are all sort of working towards one goal, which is to be as effective as possible. There's different pathways for advancement, right? In my case, I'm quite happy where I am. I mean, I might get to be a senior process control guy, right, in the future, for example. That's one thing you gotta work towards. But for certain people, I could choose to branch out, sort of maybe go into a little bit more management type things, right, if I chose to. Those possibilities are definitely open. And there's all high turnover, right? I mean, the workforce is aging and positions are opening up all the time. So there's a whole bunch of opportunities that way. Plus, we're doing more with less. If you look at the number of people at the mills, right, we've actually reduced the numbers, but we're producing more than we used to, right? And in order to be competitive, there's got to be improvements all the time. So in other words, it's exciting. There's new stuff going on all the time. If you look at a pulp mill, especially, it's got a powerhouse. You produce power. We sell power to the grid, right? It's got a bunch of chemical reactors, right? So if you wanted to work in petrochemicals, well, you have a little bit of that here, right? You've got things that run fast. You've got motors, pumps, etc. You've got things that are slow. You've got digesters where 19 hours of residence time, right, before the reactions are complete. So in a sense, and we've got environmental treatment plants, right? In certain towns, the waterworks are actually run by the pulp mill. So it's a little bit of a microcosm of all the stuff that goes on in the other industries, all in one place. So you really have breadth and depth of experience, I think, by working in pulp mills rather than the other other type industries. And there's easy stuff, but there's also stuff that's really complicated, right? It's just stupendous, the kind of stuff we get to play with on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Every day I go home, I feel we've done something, you've accomplished something, right? And a whole bunch of times we meet failure, right? You try a couple of things and they don't work out, and you gotta pick yourself up and dust yourself up, right? And sometimes you then crack it, and it's really great, the feeling you have when you do that.